I am not a Windows fan. I am not a Apple fan. I find both products, both brands, to have their pluses, their minuses, their flaws. I really don't care one way or the other who thinks what of what product is better or what. But I'm going to basically state my opinion on the product and how I think it can be better. Alright, so let's get that clear out of the way. And please keep the comments sensible. If you just say something sucks without justifying it, do expect it to get deleted. Okay, so today's the 27th. Apple's gone through, released or announced the iPad, and that's what they're calling their tablet product. And I think the name could be definitely better. The name iPad, immediately as soon as it was announced, everybody was started making jokes about it being a maxi pad. So yeah, they could have done something better. I would have liked iSlate or something, or iTablet, anything, but iPad, come on, pretty bad name. As you can tell from the picture there, it pretty much is nothing more than a really big iPod. From what I understand, it's pretty close to being something about like twice the size of a normal iPod. Here's the dimensions on it. About 7.5 wide, about 9.5 high. So yeah, it's about twice the size of a iPod if you blew out the dimensions, width and height. And thickness is pretty much just the same. It's a little bit thicker, half an inch thick. The actual iPod Touch is something like a 1/4 inch, something like that, so it's about twice as thick. It has to be given because of the screen and battery life probably, but so that, okay, I can kinda live with that. But then we're talking about features with this thing. There's really nothing new Apple has introduced with this. I hate to say it, it's just a really big iPod. It's got a big 9.7-inch screen. Yeah, 1024 768 resolution. It's just a it's just a big iPod. It does have a 1 gigahertz Apple custom-made processor, an A4. They say it's really fast. It's got Wi-Fi built into it, Bluetooth, wireless in. Does have assisted GPS, which means it uses your Wi-Fi locations, your wireless access points, and the 3G access to basically give you an idea where it's at. Doesn't have true GPS built into it, so keep that in mind. No true GPS. It does have a couple buttons on the side of it, on, off, that's fine. Mute button, volume up and down. Pretty much the same as the buttons on a iPod, with the exception of mute actually being a button. As you can see in this little picture here, it's got a dock connector, so it hooks up to your computer the same way as a iPod would. Synchronizes with iTunes just the same way as an iPod. With the applications for it, it will run standard iPod applications, and it does have the option to run them in a full screen mode. So if for some reason they don't zoom well or something like that, it'll run in its native small screen mode, and you can blow it up to the full screen. You do get some distortion with that if you do blow it up to full screen mode. Applications can be developed so it runs in the full native capability of the iPad, which is cool. Means you're going to see a little bit more better applications that can make use of that screen. That's cool. But as far as applications that are currently out there, they're introducing nothing new here. Applications they're offering are going to be currently iWork, I do believe, is going to be the name of the product, but it's basically Apple's iWork um, applications, but kind of trimmed down. Was hoping, here we go. Yeah, here they go. They got keynote pages, numbers. As you can kind of see from those screenshots, they have gone through and looks to me at least that they've trimmed it down as to all the functionality that's in it. So you're getting basically just a mobile version of, keynote pages and numbers. I do know there's a lot more capability in those products than these few little buttons you can see here for bold, italic, right, left, justify, all that stuff. Until you actually get your hands on the product itself to play with those, I don't see really much of a benefit to that. You still have an all-screen keyboard, no physical keyboard. There's no camera. There's really not too much to this thing. You have a headphone jack. Where's the gallery pics? There we go. They will have a 3G model, which means it will go over the cell network for downloading and watching content, browsing the net, all that good stuff. The cell provider is going to be AT&T for that, and I will give them this, they're going to offer an unlimited plan, they said, for $30, which is pretty good. They do have a couple other little applications they've included in here. I would really have liked to see that this would come with the keynotes, pages, all those programs by default. That would have been a nice inclusion, especially considering the price. And this is where I have a problem with the product. I could understand this being a good introductory device for it, and then them adding in things like the camera, a GPS, and a whole bunch of other things later. I could understand that. But they are really selling this for too high a price, in my opinion. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a tablet-type computer, or at least that's how I think they're trying to market it. And if you go through here and look at just for the 16 gigabyte model, that's a solid state drive, by the way, you're talking $500, and all you can do is connect to a wireless network. Okay, you throw in the ability to connect to 3G. Not only do you have to pay the $30 a month for unlimited, but it's an additional $130 for the model. So you're talking $630 for a 16 gig tablet computer. Now, they've even said how they compared it to a netbook and everything. I can get a netbook for $300 for a low-end one. That's beating that price in half. I mean, it's half the price. And yeah, okay, let's just ignore the fact that 3G. Let's look at just the $500. $300 compared to $500. That's $200 less. And those are coming even with 32 gigabytes standard now. So I mean, they're beating them on storage there. So I'm not impressed with this pricing for what you're getting. You can go through and get a air card or add-in chip for some of the netbooks. Those are only $100 in some cases, maybe $120, and you add that in there. Yes, you have a more expensive data plan, but you think about in the long run, it's probably going to be, cheaper compared to how much they're charging you on this. It's crazy. And then you start going up to the 64 gig model, $700 standard, $830. That's pretty close to $900 in my opinion. I mean, you're pushing $900, $850. $830. It's you're getting close to the $900 range, and for that you can actually buy a full-fledged laptop, even a MacBook. So I'm not impressed with the iPad at all. It's running basically just the iPod OS, and this thing would have been more spectacular to me if they actually ran the full Mac OS, or at least a modified version of Mac OS on this device, specialized for tablets. It's just a shame that it's so special and that you have to wait for developers to make apps for it, so to say. But I'm not impressed with it. Look at a Asus T91MT. I've got a review of that coming up soon. I bought that for $550, and that's got more capability than this does. No SD card slots, no expansion. You can get an adapter for this thing to do SD cards, but that's another thing you got to buy on top of that. So overall, disappointed in the product. I recommend anything besides this if you want a tablet or mobile computer. Until next time, I'll see you later.